Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to this free webinar. I hope our people are not doing African time. If you're in any of the WhatsApp groups, PLAB 1, PLAB 1.5 groups, any pre-PLAB 2 platforms, you can just drop a message. Usually we like being on time to appointments like this, or if by any chance somebody is waiting for who will tell us that they have started, then perhaps somebody should help them. So I'll give about 5 minutes, let's say 10 minutes before we kick off. Yeah. So in 5 minutes, I'll pop off my face again and then maybe wait another 3 or 4 minutes and then we start. So while we wait for them, apologies that you may not be able to unmute yourself. It's a session where though we can do question and answers, we can talk back and forth. It won't be best with our audios, you know. Yeah, so you can use your chat room, especially at the end of the presentation, to communicate with me. I will be seeing all the comments, whether they are comments directed to everyone, they are comments directed to me. I will be seeing your comments and I would respond absolutely. For those of us on YouTube, I am also seeing the comments on YouTube. At the end of the session, we can also ask questions. I will take questions from both platforms. I see some of my students as well in the participant list. I don't want to call names. I would prefer that some of you preferably move to YouTube. Just leave Zoom for people who have not done a course, who just passed PLAB 1. It is primarily for them. So if you're a Key Points Academy person or you have attended another academy, this is not really for you. Yeah, of course, definitely everybody will benefit, but the primary focus is for people who have just passed PLAB 1 or haven't done any course at all. So just leave me and them in Zoom. You've had a lot of me, so by now you should be tired of hearing me and my stories. So just move to Zoom, move to YouTube. It's also live on YouTube. So we have 7 more minutes. I will be back in maybe a few minutes before we start. All right. Yeah. Good evening and happy holidays for those of us who are on Salah break. What a better time, a great time to get the good news of your PLAB 1 results. A good time as well for you to get some direction, regarding your preparations for PLAB 2. So I want to use this opportunity to say congratulations to all of the people who just passed PLAB 1. I usually would say that when you pass PLAB 1, you've done the difficult part of the journey. PLAB 1 is the difficult part of the journey. And I know some people will be like, whoa, but PLAB 1 was easy for me. I don't know what your story is, what your experience is, but PLAB 1 is the more detailed part of the PLAB journey. And detailed now is detailed in the content, that the GMC expects the average doctor to have in terms of knowledge to see patients, So when it comes to PLAB 2, it's a bit of the easier part. Some people find it difficult, and that difficulty is in a background of a lot of context. And some of those contexts are the things I will be talking about this evening. For some of you to be like, oh, I just strolled in to hear him talk, but I would advise you to pick up a sheet, a notebook, something to write. Yeah, because what we'll talk about today may as well define your entire PLAB 2 journey. My name is Dr. Peter Idago. You can always call me Dr. Peter. The founder and lead tutor of the Key Points Academy. Let's look at some important things in the PLAB 2 journey. Now, I usually prefer, I've always done this session every couple of months. I think the last time I did this was April this year. Yeah. I try as much as I can to time it to when people pass their PLAB 1 because it's somewhat when they need direction the most. So it's a free session. Of course, you didn't pay anything to be here. And you need this foundation before you even attend the course, before you begin to make sense of some acronyms and all of that you begin to find in PLAB 1 group, PLAB 1.5 groups and all of that. Yeah, so you need some of these basics before you begin to think of the PLAB 2 journey and how to engage. Some of you I know already are already on the journey, you have dates and all of that, but you still want to get some sense of direction. So you're welcome all the same. Yeah, in as much as the session is not primarily for you, it is not useless at all for you. Now, I usually start this session with explaining to you how some people see PLAB 2. I see PLAB 2 like a Snelling's chart, all right? Yeah, it's the same chart. And oh, Badmus, I wonder what's happening on your screen. You're drawing a lot for us. Now, I see PLAB 2 like, like the Snelling's chart, where you have, so where you have large prints, you have small prints. People see different things, on the Snelling's chart. There are people who look at the Snelling's chart and all they can see is the big prints. There are people who look at the Snelling's and they can see the big and the small prints. They see everything. Now, for you to go through PLAB 2 in an easy way, and easy here is relative. I'm sure you can see the look on my face, when I say easy. It's easy, actually it is, but it's relative. Now, for you to go through PLAB 2 in a relatively easy way, you have to see everything. Yeah, you have to see everything. Not the contents of the notes, not what Mr. A, Dr. B has said that we should say in this station. No, there are various angles to the PLAB 2 journey. So you have to see the big, you have to see the small. PLAB 2 is a small exam, especially for people like me You know, there are many of you, and by me, I'm not a Superman. Absolutely not. Yeah, there are many of my kind who I believe are in the chat room, even if I don't know you. Yeah, who see clinical exams as very easy things. Yeah, I do. When you give me a physical exam, I will walk over it any day. Yeah, it's better than written exams. And there are people like that. So it can be a small journey, but it can also be a mighty journey. Yeah, so Plateau is a small exam, but it can be mighty, and you have to see all of the context. Now, I usually use this cartoon, of course. It makes sense to you if you know the Tom and Jerry. Yeah, you look at that small rat or that small mouse, and you think it is small. Actually, it's not small. You know, it's not small. Yeah, so even the big cat had very difficult times with the mouse. So that is the same thing for Plateau. Sometimes you engage and you find very amazing results if you do not know what is expected of you. Now, this is an athlete, which some of you who do modern medicine, yeah, would also know, you know, had this particular accident in an athletic competition. Okay, yeah, you see the weight you think is the weight you have been lifting before, and lo and behold, you can see it's trying to break the person's neck. What happened there? I'm not an athletic coach, I can't tell, but that is how Plateau can be for some people, even as simple and as easy as Plateau is. Now, there are common reasons why people fail Plateau, and I would want to start with that in this session. I'll do a countdown of 6 thematic areas that would help me identify some of the little items around which people fail Plateau. So you may want to take through this journey with me. I didn't mention this at the beginning. Usually this session takes about 2 hours. I hope you do have the time to hear my boring but very useful talk. Now, the first point, so the first item here would be what I term faith. And faith, I'm not talking of your religious beliefs. All right, there are very little things under this item I call faith when it comes to preparing for your Plateau. Now, what do you put your trust in as you prepare for your Plateau journey? You're right? Yeah. Some people put their trust in their intelligence. They are very intelligent doctors. Yeah, they have always passed exams and they put their trust in that. No be Plateau, I'll clear them, I'll deal with them. You know, in the few years I've put into teaching Plateau, I have found doctors who have even had distinctions in their training, very excellent doctors, and this is the first exam they are failing in their lives. In their entire life, is their first exam they are failing. I've come to see, counsel, and direct some of them, and they end up passing. So there are various things people put their trust in. Yeah. It can be a reason why one may fail Plateau. Yeah, even your intelligence can be a problem. Hopefully I get to talk about that some way, somehow in this session. But where is your trust? What do you put your trust in? Yeah. So intelligence can make one overconfident, and overconfidence can affect one's attitude, and Plateau sniffs a lot. It sniffs like a dog on your attitude, the attitude you bring to the consultation. Now, some people put their trust in academies. Oh, so-and-so academy, pass rate, there, let's go there. All right. I remember, I think sometime in the middle of last year, I had this consultant, anesthesiologist in Nigeria, who contacted me and asked, oh, I heard you have a very amazing pass rate. That is why I want to come to your academy. What is your pass rate at the moment? Somebody told me so-and-so figure. So I told him, first of all, I don't peddle pass rate. Even when we have 100%, I don't announce it. The reason is this: academies are doing well or academies are not doing well does not guarantee that you will pass. It is one of those things that I call faith that can fail you in Plateau. Yeah, I think, oh, so-and-so academy is the one that has, or they published on their website 90-something see, many of the times, even those figures are lies. Maybe I don't want to go into that, but I guess you get the point where I'm talking about. So that everybody passed PLAB 2 in our last course does not mean that everybody will pass PLAB 2 in the next course. The work is yours. It's not the academy. So putting your trust in academies, no, sir. It can disappoint you. Yeah, people pass from all academies, people fail from all academies. Now, the next thing under this item would be people trusting in scripts. Which material is the most reliable material? Oh, I've seen A, I've seen B, use this particular one, that's the most reliable. Of course, we're supposed to source for information, but some of those scripts can fail you in the exam. I know that some of you just passed PLAB 1. It will be a bit difficult for me to use scenarios and tasks to give you examples because you may not relate to them. But I know sometime 2 months ago, a particular task that the GMC have always used with a female gender, a female, the story, the scenario is a female. And then one of the days they decided to change it to a male. Yeah, the same story, just change the, change the name to a male name, change the few things that are female specific, remove some of them and all that. But the central issue was the same. Now you had some doctors who went into that particular station because they had pre-crammed and were already scripted, as it were. Yeah, some of them came in and were asking the female specific questions. Of course, you know what the examiner will do with the scoring in that kind of station. So you do not want to trust scripts. I started this particular part about self-confidence and your intelligence. Yeah, so some people, yeah, they can put their trust in their intelligence and any other thing. Those academies and scripts were just examples. There can be very many more things. Now, some people, it is even the lack of that confidence. So when you do not have confidence in yourself, sometimes you know everything, and that can really be a problem. So check your facts, check all the things that you want to structure your mind with before you come to the PLAB 2 journey. Yeah, because every little thing, very tiny bit of things determine how the exam. What you believe determines your mindset. It determines, of course, the actions that you will take even in the stations. And of course, it will decide what outcome that you get in the exam. The next major item will be your foundations. If your foundation is poor, then you most likely will have challenges. Yeah, you can't build a very solid structure on a weak foundation. What will foundations be here? I've put them in a couple of things. Understanding basic medical concepts. Now, your PLAB 1 exam, which you passed, okay? Yeah, all kudos to you. Yeah, your PLAB 1 exams is designed around very basic medical things: anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, genetics, and of course, all the specialist areas. They are not very big things that they ask you in PLAB 1. Yeah, some of them may look technical because they're taking you back to the books, which you may have left for a while. But they are actually primary things that just a junior doctor should know. Nothing technical there, nothing too difficult. Yeah, very basic things. Even the ethics questions, very primary school ethics that they put there. Now, you find out that if some of you marginally pass PLAB 1, that means that you just had a way to just get above the average score, the score that's needed to pass, and you passed the exam. But you do not understand the principles behind some of the answers. You just got the clinchers, knowing that this is how the exam, this is how the question comes. Oh, I registered for so and so PLAB 1 bank. You know how you do it in PLAB 1 now. You have documents where you have clinchers. So you know that as you read that question, this is the answer. As you read that question, this is the answer. Not that you understood it. It's just that, yeah, this is the clincher documents, no time, no stress. Let's just pass the exam. Good, it worked for you. But in PLAB 2, it may work against you. Yeah, so what is the depth of your understanding of basic medical concepts? Because PLAB 2 will play around your understanding. Yeah, to play around your understanding, not the highfalutin stuff in the same set of diagnoses, the same set of medical topical areas. So your foundations can be the reason why one may have challenges in the Plateau exam. Now, this part, very important. Duration after medical school can also be a very huge factor. You find, from experience, people who are young, and by young now, not just age. Yeah, age has a little space there. But people who are young in the practice, just finish house job, doing NYSC, just the first few years in practice, you are more likely to pass the PLAB 2 test than your consultant. It's a long explanation. But I'll summarize it, I'll make it simple. Now, when you are young in the practice, you do not have fixed mindsets about certain things. You have not argued a lot about positions, on issues, medical issues, management options, and all of that. Yeah, your mind is not fixed. You are still malleable. So it is very easy for you to adapt. Yeah. PLAB 2 is not really an exam for me. It's one of the things I teach in ClickPoint Academy. It's not really an exam. PLAB 2 is more of a conditioning process than an exam. Do you understand? You have done the one we call exam, which is PLAB 1. Nobody taught you anything. Yeah, so you just read, followed guidance, and went to be tested. But in PLAB 2, it's more of a conditioning process. They know you know those things already. That's why you pass the PLAB 1 exam. But they will now want to condition you to how we consult in the UK. So the younger people, they are easier to condition than the older people. And by older now, more specifically older in the profession. So you find that, the older you are in the profession, the more time you need to prepare. You see how small that factor is? It can be the defining factor for a number of persons. And please, I plead with any of the house officers, younger ones, do not develop a fake confidence because of what I just said. And you go back to make the error of faith that, house officer, now we go rush him and everything. That means you go back from foundation, which is a positive for you. You now have a problem of wrong belief, so to say, the first item we talked about. So of course, everybody has to put in a lot of work, but it is usually easier for those who are young in the profession. Now, of course, it also affects the clinical experience. I won't talk so much about that. The same thing applies. Now, from item 1, I talked about PLAB 1 as well. So that means here that in as much as I'm focusing for now on what can make one fail PLAB 1, but the recommendation here would be that you go back to understand all of those PLAB 1 concepts again. Do you still have your PLABable subscription? Go through again, not because you want to write exam, but because you want to understand those things you crammed as clinchers to pass. All right, it helps you to build the right foundation. Now, the differences in the context of your practice. People who are in general practice, who are medical officers, one of the pluses again for house officers and youth corpers, people in the early days of practice and all that, is that if the context of your practice involves doing general things, seeing patients from every specialty and all of that, it is easier for you to adapt to the PLAB 2 process. Unlike people who are in specialist training, who are in teaching hospitals, who are doing some kind of specialist training, your mind has been fixed around a particular item. Imagine you are doing ophthalmology. How much do you know about skin conditions? What are the odds? What are the chances that you will come across seborrheic keratosis? What are the odds? So, and imagine now that you have been there for 10 years, for 5 years. Of course, when we're talking dermatology, we're talking impetigo. Of course, if you do not have a very good understanding of that right from time in past and all of that, it will be difficult for you to begin to gradually adjust. So But the people who are in private practice, of course, today there's scabies, and in the course of trying to diagnose scabies, they may have to read other common skin conditions that will likely present like scabies. You know what I mean? Yeah. So people in private practice, in general things, family medicine and co, you know, they are more likely to, you know, do well or do better in PLAB 2. So you must take into cognizance some of these very minute things you don't expect anybody to even pay attention to while you prepare for PLAB 2. You want to take note of them. They can really affect how the journey goes. So to succeed, of course, you will soon learn, as I did, the importance of solid foundation. Yeah, and these are the things that help you to build your solid foundation. Now, let's look at the next thing. One of the things that make people fail Plateau is their understanding of the test structure. I reviewed somebody's results, somebody who came for me to look at her result, I think not long ago. And I asked a simple question. Yeah, of course, sent me the results. We'll have to look at the results together. I always do that. Now, I asked one question. I said, let's look at this qualitative feedback column in the results. Do you know why the examiner ticked this, ticked that in the results? I said, no. Then how do you avoid the examiner ticking them? As in, you know, it's the most foundational thing. You don't know how your examiner thinks, and then you are going to face that examiner. Boy, that's a big gamble. It's a big gamble. How is the exam structured? How are the examiners thinking? How do the examiners score you? Not just domain 1, domain 2, domain 3, which I know in your PLAB 1.5, they will start bombarding you if not yet. Yeah, you will go through that. But what about the qualitative feedback column? The 10 columns through which the examiners determine the domain 1, domain 2, domain 3 scores. Do you know what items they look out for to tick those columns? Do you know when they sit down and they are watching you complete your task? Do you know what is going through their mind? You need to know to evade the red flags that they are looking out for. So you must understand what PLAB 2 is about. You must understand what PLAB 2 is not about. Yeah. Okay. What is PLAB 2 about? And what is it not about? How are you scored? What are the examiners looking out for? And of course, how do they make sense of that in your consultation? So if you do not know the structure of your paper, of course, how would you know how to tackle it? How would you know how you are being graded? Okay, and this quote from the BBC captures the main point around understanding the test structure. I definitely know that, you know, my job today is not to teach you all of this. Yeah, I will tell you where you'll find all of those information. Yeah, if I forget, please remind me during the question and answer. Now, the next thing would be robotism. Robotism. Now, PLAB 2, in as much as I tried not to talk about too much about what PLAB 2 is about, but here I will tell you that it's all about a consultation, a person to a person. The GMC examiner is sitting down there to see if the patient they have placed in front of you is talking to a person or is talking to a robot. Now, imagine if the human hand on your screen is the patient they have brought to you. And usually their patients or their simulators will have real patient emotions, including places where some of them will cry. And yes, they are trained to do that. And yeah, some of our simulators as well in Key Points Academy, in fact, specifically myself, there are stations where I cry. I will cry for you if I have to. Yeah. And so they have put a human, a real simulation of a human in front of you. They are looking out to see, is this human sitting with a human doctor or a robotic doctor? And no matter how correct what your mouth is saying is, let's say this is to manage a chest infection, pneumonia, you know, and they are talking all the things, the right antibiotics, the right anti-fever medication, everything. You are saying also your contents are correct. The things you are saying are correct. But the context around the consultation is robotic. The examiner will not score you well because they want a human consulting with a human, a patient-centered, real-life consultation. So being robotic is one of the things that make people fail PLAB 2. And how do you determine what's, when you say robotic? Being scripted, following a script. I organize mocks every now and then, every day, including today. And you find some people who, there are times when they come, and because in their scripts, in their notes, they had seen so and so facts, so and so information about the station. And then they mentioned that you told me earlier that you had this. Sometimes I tell you, no, I didn't say that. I had not told you that. But it's true, I had that. How did you know, doctor? And of course, there's nothing as awkward as that. Because how do you begin to retract from the fact that, yes, it's correct information from your notes, but you are the one that confabulated, you are the one that invented it in the consultation, It tells everybody in the room that doctor is scripted. Yeah, he's following a script. He's not just doing this consultation. He didn't listen to the patient. And yes, the examiner will tick the box for poor listening, and boy, your scores are flying away. Being scripted is one of those things that determines that a doctor is robotic. And of course, showing poor empathy. Showing poor empathy. Yeah, or empathy that is not real. Your body language is not showing that you are sorry, but you are saying, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. And that's the only way you acknowledge emotions. I'm sorry to, please, for those who just passed PLAB 1, I'm sorry if you don't relate totally with every examples I'm giving. Just give it time. Don't feel any awkward. It's okay not to know, especially for now. Gradually, you will adapt to everything, okay? Yeah, so, but when your mouth is trying to show empathy, but your body language, your facial expression is not congruent, then of course, that's a robot. Some of you have seen robots that are being developed these days, either to serve in restaurants and all that. Now, I don't know if you have seen any of them. You can browse and see some of them. Yeah, I've been to a restaurant where it's a robot that was serving somewhere in Canada. Now, you find that this robot has been programmed to tell you welcome when you sit down. Of course, when the robot rolls and comes to your table to take your order, and it tells you welcome, has all the right words, but there's no emotion on the face. Of course, it doesn't have facial muscles or expression. All the facial muscles that we use to show our emotions based on anatomy. The robot doesn't have it, but it has the right words. And that is poor empathy or poor display of empathy, unreal display of empathy. And the GMC sometimes even would tag some of them stock phrases you crammed, but they are not truly an expression of your empathy for the patient in front of you. Now, some people ignore emotions that are in the consultation. Yeah, somebody is showing you that they are uneasy. They have something on their mind. They don't know if they should say them or not. And you are not seeing that emotion. It is a robot. Yeah, you are not a doctor. I'm sorry, you are not a human doctor. Yeah, in your competence, you are a doctor, but you are not real. The examiner will not only listen to your content. It's different from PLAB 1, where your content determines your scores. But in PLAB 2, there are contexts around judging your content. Okay? So, of course, I've talked about stock phrases. Somebody is telling you, I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry to hear that. Everything he hears, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that. And that's just the only empathetic word, empathetic this thing. And in some places, you're even using them wrongly. Yeah, so, of course, stock phrases. Those are phrases that you just, stock them in your brain. And you're just using them without knowing how they apply. That is a robot. You have been programmed to act that way. So whether it's appropriate or not, it will still act that way. You're a robot. Okay, so talked about this, of course, being emotionless. You find some people who breaking bad news station. You want to tell somebody about cancer. That I do have a result, and the result shows that unfortunately you have a cancer. And of course, you follow the breaking bad news process, and then you tell the person, and the person breaks down. The person is reflecting. It's a huge information. They didn't expect it. Sometimes they even cry. Those are one of the examples of places that simulators can cry. Then the person is crying, and you ignore that emotion. You do not connect with that destabilizing emotion, And then you go ahead to say, so what we can do for this, because you are just a robot, you want to dish out management. So what we can do for you is, chapa, chapa, chapa. What we can do for you is, what we can do. And the person's head is down, crying, and you are loading and loading and loading. That you don't have emotion. Yeah, you don't have emotion. So apologies to anybody that is not Nigerian here. Let me use pidgin. You not be a better person at all. Yeah. So those are the things that the examiner can use to judge that you are not really a doctor, you're a robot. Okay. So of course, a doctor who fails to connect with the concerns of the patient may find it difficult connecting with the real problems indeed. Let me give you another example. And this one is a Plateau station. You have a domestic violence scenario where somebody comes to you and the person tells you, I have sleep problems. And then the person is telling you your sleep problems, but in that consultation, it's not really looking at you. So she's talking, sometimes it's a video conversation, it can be a telephone conversation, it can be mostly a physical conversation. And the person is not looking at you, it's looking away and telling you, I just can't sleep. What time do you go to bed? I go to bed very early. My sleeping environment is comfortable, but you know, I just doctor, just give me something to sleep. Just give me something to sleep. And the person is not looking at you. If you are human, you will see that this person has something on their minds, that their body language is communicating to you, though their mouth is saying something different. So if you do not connect with them, all right, yeah, by seeing, listening with your eyes to what the body language is saying, then of course you are going to miss the domestic violence that this person has as the real problem in the consultation. So you find some people who have stations like that, they go ahead and take a beautiful insomnia history, diagnose insomnia, manage insomnia beautifully, and then the result comes out 0, 0, 0 or 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 2 marks over 12. 3 marks over 12. You will not pass now. It's not possible. So you may miss out on the real issues in consultation when you are robotic. The next item will be the place of practice. Don't practice until you get it right. You have to practice until you can't get it wrong. For PLAB 2, poor practice is one of the things that makes people fail PLAB 2. You remember what I told you earlier, that you have the information already from PLAB 1. The theory, nobody that comes to write PLAB 2 is dull. Nobody, none, not one. There's nobody that comes to write PLAB 2 that is not intelligent. PLAB 1 is a screening process to cut off the people who, in quotes, may not be intelligent. Yeah, so if you are past PLAB 1, you are intelligent enough. Now there's a given. It's a given. So, but how do you translate that theory? How do you now move to become conditioned to the kind of doctor the UK is looking for? Practice. Yeah, because the kind of consultation you find in PLAB 2 is not the kind of consultation many of us do in our different countries, especially where you are migrating from. You know, Africa, India, Pakistan, yeah, many of those places, some of the world best practices in consultations are not really there. Okay, so you have to translate who you are and how you consult into the ideal person the GMC is looking for, and only practice helps you to do that. Your language has to change. How you twist your body language, you know, to fit professionalism in the first world. Everything, how you show emotions and not overshow it. Yeah, recently I had a student who showed the appropriate emotion, but exaggerated it. Yeah, you know, exaggerated it. I'll give you the example. Yeah, you know, she had made a medical error, and in that medical error, yeah, you have to apologize, of course, that you did so and so error. And that's how the station is designed, to see how you apologize. And then you went to apologize, and then you just imagine, I mean, this is not what the student did, but yeah, you want to apologize, and then you are like, maybe let's say you kneel down. Just imagine that. Yeah, let's say you kneel down, or you even, I'm so sorry, I'm begging you now, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I know it's my fault, and then you start crying. Yeah, appropriate emotion, you're supposed to be sorry for what you have done wrong, but not exaggerated. Yeah, so practice conditions you to have that right balance of not being emotionless and also not being hyper emotional. So it takes practice to control everything that you do and to remain professional all the time. If you don't practice, I'm sorry, you don't deserve to win. You don't. And most of the times, the exam, the result will reflect it. And if you don't practice, you will not win. Now, the last part, this one almost has nothing to do with the Plateau itself. Almost has nothing to do with the Plateau itself. Now, you find people who it is their visa applications, things you don't expect that they will determine the outcome, but they may have maximum effect and spoil the whole thing. In fact, they are a reflection of what, the good book says, little foxes destroy the vine. Very little things. You find an intelligent doctor failing the exam. Why? Because you applied for your visa late. And now the time you booked your flight is getting close and the visa response has not come. So you can't read, you can't control yourself, you are practicing under tension, you're even forgetting what is happening. And let's say finally, the visa now came 2 days before your flight. Oh, thank goodness. I can still meet up. Oh, thank goodness. And then let's go. With all those tension, you now enter for your journey. And then let's say that, the only flight you could find, let's assume even that you'd not booked before, the only flight you could find is a 27-hour flight. And you have booked to travel 2 days before your exam, so that arrive and then you rest 1 day or even go to the exam the next day, whatever. Basically, the long example or long story I'm saying it is your travel plan can make you fail Plateau. And please note that all of the examples and things I'm mentioning, none of them is theoretical. I have stories for each of them because I've been long enough here to see many people go through the journey. And I've seen very brilliant doctors fail Plateau just because of poor guidance, poor structuring of their preparation, either in content, in context, or even in little things like logistics. So you now do a 27 hours flight, long layover here, three flights perhaps, whatever it is, and you come in, your body is weak. And then you go to the exam, all the knowledge correct, all the answers correct, but you are not reflecting what you are saying because you're under stress, you're tired. And it's not your fault. Yeah, of course, by body, it's not your fault. Yeah, where it is your fault is maybe in the planning perhaps, Yeah, some people have travel mishaps. Of course, this flight was cancelled. So and so flight had technical issue. They had to waive the same story. It's all around the same item. And it could also be beyond what I have talked about already as examples. So your logistics from day one has to be planned, and you need to be properly guided to make sure that no abstract, seemingly insignificant thing brings a significant outcome of your Plateau journey. All right. So you have to really, really prepare. Beyond the common things, of course, that make people fail, it is just one side of what makes people fail. There's more, of course, to the preparation to the Plateau journey. And that is those things that can now make you pass. Let me talk about a few of them. How do you prepare? Start from the basics. Start from the basics. Now, I know I didn't mention this at the beginning. This presentation does not mean you must come to Key Points Academy. I usually will mention this at the beginning. It's my free contribution to you. All right? Yeah, so just take everything. I'm sincere and genuine in what I want. I'm giving it to you for free. In your preparation, please, those of, you are my focus, those who just passed now, start from the basics. Go back to your PLABable. Or PLAB doable, or whatever document you use, your PLAB 2, PLAB 1 clean charts. I don't even know some of the things that are used anymore. Yeah, go back to whatever it is. Read them again. Of course, there's no tension, there's no pressure on you. Flip through step by step. I know some of you may not get dates in the next couple of months or something. So you have relatively a lot of time. Yeah, go through, understand what pneumonia means. Not that you did not know before, but what does it mean in the PLAB contents? How is it explained? What are the important investigations? Are there important investigations that are beyond your small clinic that what you can do in your small clinic, that sometimes the resources we are supposed to limit our knowledge. You knew before about ABGs and blah, 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 bronchoscopy, but you don't do them. So bronchoscopy will not even come to your mind in the first place when you are thinking of a lung cancer. Go back and understand these little basics again. Okay, yeah, start from the basics, read everything. Now, understand the principles behind all the tests. Yeah, common investigations for a chest this, common investigation for an abdominal this. What are the principles behind them? Understand. CT scan, what are the indications for prescribing CT scan in so and so place? Just take your time, understand those basics. Understand why we do so and so tests here, why we do not do so and so tests here. Why should I not do CT scan in a child? Yeah, or at least be too free to do it in a child, So what I mean, so what are the indications? Just those basic things, understand them. They would help you. Now, you are not learning them under tension. You remember, you don't have a date. You have not even started preparing your account. Some of you have actually, I know some of you would have been doing that. You not start preparing your account for PLAB 2. You are not even looking at writing the PLAB 2 this year, maybe. So you see, there's no tension. Take your time, understand all of those tiny, tiny things. Double check information that you receive. If let's say you have done a course or they have given you some things in your PLAB 1.5 group. Some of the people there are people who just passed PLAB 2. They feel they have a lot of knowledge. Meanwhile, I didn't tell you before, some of the people who have passed PLAB 2 do not even understand how they passed. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry, because, I am in the business and I get to recruit teachers and I have my way of recruiting teachers. Yeah, so, and I get to see people who they have passed with a good result, but I know I can't recruit them. Because, yeah, they passed, but they can't teach how they passed because they don't even know how they passed. I know it's difficult for you to relate with. From an experience perspective, I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you are past PLAB 2, and I am asking you, what do each of these columns in the results, what do they mean? And you can't tell me all of them. That means somehow you managed and crammed, practice what you saw other people doing, and you were able to pass, but you can't communicate that result. So what am I saying? Is that in some of your groups, and please, this is not to berate or undermine any, they are very amazing people too who are donating their free time and energy and resources to help you. I respect them totally. Yeah, but you have to understand as well that not everybody understands as much as some of us would. All right. So spend time to double check what you have been told. They told you grips means this. What is that grips? Try to understand every little thing. Yeah, so that you are not just cramming it as grips or is an acronym. No, you understand how it actually applies and what it should mean and all of that. Then, of course, review your circumstances. I've said a lot about how your specific circumstances can determine the outcome of this exam. You have to sit down and do what? Check your unique circumstances. What is your account situation? When can you write this exam? You know, stuff like that. All the little things that apply to you. Ask yourself those personal questions about around them. Yeah, this item Dr. Peter talked about. This item Dr. Peter talked about, where do I fall in? Oh, I'm a specialist, and he's raising some concerns about people who are maybe specialists who have spent many years outside medical school. Yeah, so check, sit down, count the cost. Okay, so these are the items that can affect me, and you want to do what? Take actions to prevent the fact that they can affect you. Okay. Yeah. So this is your time to actually review, you know. Yeah. Now, the personal items, of course, yeah, from the place of faith, you have to believe you can do it. If you do not have confidence, you do not believe in yourself, you may have problems in Plateau. Believe you can ace it. Plateau is doable. It is. It is. And it's a very simple exam. I dare to say so. I dare to say so. Plateau is doable. Believe it. And from that mindset, of course, you're going to gather every other thing that you need. Be committed to the process. The process can be a bit daunting. In fact, if Plateau were to be difficult at all, I think is the fact that it involves some bit of physical stress, physical and financial stress. I think that's just what's difficult about it. Yeah, where it involves you sitting down, simulate again and again, sit down, simulate and again. It tasks your body, but not that the exam itself is difficult. So you have to be committed to the process. Be committed to the process, whatever it takes. When you come to academies, especially academies like ours that are detailed and pay attention, you notice that I even know the name of my students. When I look through, I said I saw some of my students in the, So when it comes to academy like us, where we're committed to a personal touch, knowing you and all of that, you find out that sometimes as well, we go through the process of relatively harassing you to sit up. It is part of the process. Yeah. Sometimes I send a message. Sometimes I call and say, I noticed so and so. I noticed so and so. Boy, what's going on? Yeah, what's up? Yeah, and sometimes I randomly will ask you, come, your visa never come out. You have not booked a mock, stuff like that. So be committed to the process, whatever it takes. The physical process from your end, the physical stress you may put on your relationships and all that while you prepare. There are so many things that can sometimes come into it. So you have to be committed to the process. I've talked about the place of identify your own weaknesses. Some people have weaknesses of facial expression. You know yourself that from before now, you are not the person that is nice. No, maybe not nice. I believe all of you are nice. Maybe you are not the kind of person that really communicates, or you're not very good at randomly connecting with people you don't know before. In the Plateau exam, every single person you meet on the exam day, all the simulators and the examiners, you have never seen them before. Yeah, so you have to be spontaneous in forming relationship for you within 8 minutes to find an amazing connection. Of course, not to be friends or anything, or no, not even acquaintances, but to quickly connect and be able to smile where you have to. Even throw in a joke. On my exam day, 2 or 3 stations, I made the simulators laugh beyond the content of the station. Yeah, I had ways of connecting with them to show them that this is my consulting room. I am in charge and you are the stranger here. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I make you welcome. I make you feel welcome in my office. So it takes some degree or level of my, anyways, it's a bit of my natural strength. I communicate, I talk over time. So, and you have to count the cost. Look at yourself. What are your weaknesses? What are your strengths? How can they affect the outcome? You're a senior registrar, and I usually do this one. You're a senior registrar, and you are the terror of the department. You are the one that usually give extra call, extra, what's the other one? There's extra call and extension and whatever else. Yeah, you are the one that before they sneeze, before they miss an IV cannula, extra call. They do this other one, extra call. And you know that you are that person. Sometimes you even do not believe it when people are saying it. You want to deny. It can affect your outcome, boss. It can. Yeah, because the GMC will place you in situations where you are going to teach and try to rapport with a junior colleague or another colleague. It may be a nurse or something like that. The same set of people that your mind over the few years that you have you have been an overseer to younger people, your mind has been structured to oppress. Yeah. So when you come there, your body, see, everything comes from your mind. Your body language under that simulated environment will show it, and the examiners will pick it. They are very trained, just like I am. Yeah, I'll sit down, I'll look, I'll pick everything. I will pick everything, even if your mouth is saying the right things. Yeah, so imagine that. All right. So identify your weaknesses. That means that that person that terror knows this, my opportunity to preach to you as well, to go back and be a good doctor. Yeah, you have to now start practicing to be nice to the house officers you have. You have to go back and practice how to be nice to any other junior doctor that you have, because it can tell on your Plateau preparation. Your mind has to be rewired again to be the good doctor that is friendly, that has a good rapport with his or her colleagues. Look at your language limitations. Yeah, if you are the person that's usually speaking plenty language, your attitudes and mannerisms, I think all of these I've tried to simplify them. You can just take a look for a minute. Okay, so how you communicate, you have a problem with communication, you have knowledge, just count the cost. What are the things that I have talked about today that relate to you? So timing is a very important factor. Consider your circumstances. And sometimes this timing, by timing here now, will be how long should I start preparing? The time is now. But active preparation, we usually say that your active preparation should not be anything less than 8 weeks. Okay? It should not be anything less than 8 weeks. Let me put up everything. Yeah, the ideal is 8 weeks to your exam date if you have an exam date already. But getting an exam date these days is a bit unlike our time, where my time actually, you can wake up and you see an exam date of next week. We had we had luxury. I don't envy your time in Plateau at all. There are a lot of context, a lot of difficulties here and there. Yeah, now if you even log in, you may be seeing dates as far as November, December, even next year. I don't know what is obtainable now, so you know better. So you want to do what? Start preparing as early as possible. But when you've got a date, you should not be sleeping 8 weeks before your date. You should already be in an active preparatory mode. So you can imagine 2 months. 2 months to your date, active preparation. That's the best time for you to have either attended the course or your course should be ending. Around 8 weeks to your exam date, so that you can read what you have gathered from the course. You can practice and internalize, and you can become the doctor that completes the task. Okay, so when you have sat down to count the cost, like identifying what your lack is, identifying how much leave you have, where you work. You see all the context I'm bringing to the table here that will help with your Plateau outcome. All of these tiny things. Yeah, how much leave? When can you take a leave? How to structure it. Let's say you work in a place where they cannot give you more than 2 weeks leave. So that can determine what kind of course you would attend. Yeah, that means, should I consider attending an online course or a physical course? How would that all play out? Because if you are given 2 weeks, that 2 weeks, to be honest, the best thing to do with the 2 weeks is to book it for traveling, to write your exam, for your mock and your exam, if you have only 2 weeks. So you have to capture all of these things, and it starts from now. So that means you can decide to do a weekend course. And the weekend course, because you are still working, should I do a straight course or should I do a course that is broken down? And I think for now, it's only Key Points Academy that gives a course that is broken down over 2 months. Our 7-weekend course, that is just only weekends. And we do that over 6 to 7 weekends. And you would have done what every other person who had gone to a straight 14 days, 15 days course would have gotten. You'd have gotten everything. Yeah, so you have to factor in your leave and all that, and make sure that anyhow you design it, you still have around 8 weeks to your date, and you have fairly enough content to now start practicing. Okay, and that means as well that you also look at the visa challenges of your time. My time, I don't think we had as much visa problems. In fact, we could apply for priority. Now priority is now available. Yeah, from what I know, I don't know if it's back. You guys should know better. So priority visa, which is a way to make your visa application response to come back in a shorter time. Yeah, it's not even that much there now, you know. So you have to factor everything in. If visa is taking on the average about 8 weeks, then put that as well into consideration. So know when you want to start applying for visa. Is your account scattered? Start arranging it now. And that is another topic. Even some people do not know how to package their visa application. And then sometimes they have applied, and then they start preparing for course, taking leave. They're adjusting their family and whatever it is that they need to prepare, only for 1 week for them to travel. When the visa response comes, visa denied. Yeah, I don't know what to do. I've taken my leave already and all of that. When can this person get time again? Maybe in 7 months. Everything done Dabaro. Please, apologies to anybody that is not Nigerian. Yeah, okay. So everything has scattered. Everything has scattered again. Yeah, so you have to factor everything in. That means for your visa as well, make sure that your application is reviewed very well by somebody who has deep knowledge about visa application to increase the chances that the visa response will come back positive. It has to be airtight. Yeah, everything has to be well simulated. Yeah, in your preparation from day one, and that day one is today. From day one, it has to be well simulated to meet your PLAB 2 success. So you can see that PLAB 2 is not as straightforward as it seems. It's not just the exam day. There are plenty contests. Now, I'll just take a moment to talk about the materials you need for your PLAB 2. Now, I know those of you in PLAB 1.5 groups and all of that, you usually would what material? PM, they post some PDF, blah, 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 blah. They post some link, blah, 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 blah. I upload some YouTube, this thing, blah, blah, you know, and I feel like it feels good that I have PLAB 2 materials now. I want to start reading and all that. Boy, take a break. Take a break. Hold on. It's a good thing, but take a break. Now, the important material, the most important materials to set you on the path to preparing for PLAB 2, I found out that many people who go to write PLAB 2 do not even go through these materials. The PLAB blueprint on the GMC website. Some of you now, I know in this session, you have gone through a course, whether something, Swami, key points, what have you. Some of you are here, and you don't know about the PLAB blueprint on the GMC website. So how do you know the areas of competencies that the GMC expects you to have? It's like not sitting down to count the costs before you even go to the battle. So you have to know, because you see that many of the times when some people say, oh, new station has come out, or more than 1 kilo on that day, new station. Now there's nothing new actually in PLAB 2. The GMC doesn't bring anything new. And that doesn't mean there are no new stations. Those things that are new stations are areas of competencies that they have not set a scenario for before. So what that means is that the person preparing for PLAB 2 who have gone through all their areas of competence, the things they expect you to be competent in, if you have gone through them, that means when you go through a course, you will see the areas where in their blueprint, there are no scenarios. You can take a spare time to do what? To flip through those items. So if they show on your exam day, you will not be shocked. Let me give you an example. There's one day, I think in January or so, January this year, a new station came out. And then somebody, yeah, of course, news, when it comes out, it's also new to us in the academy, as it were, all the academies. You know, we have to develop a teaching approach to it. Now, when the new station came out, yeah, on that very day, and then I now asked, did you ask this? Did you ask that? Did you ask this? Did you ask that? Did you say this in your management? And the person stopped and said, is it a scenario that has been there that you did not tell us? I said, no, it's also new to me. But is the knowledge new? No. I know everything on the PLAB blueprint. So imagine if I was the candidate on the exam day, that new station would not be new. It won't catch me, because from the blueprint, I have padded myself to be ready beyond the scenarios they gave me in academy. I don't know if it makes sense to you. It definitely should. Yeah, so you must go through what is the PLAB blueprint, what are the competencies they expect. Those are the primary materials. You must make an attempt to understand GMC before you understand the information that you want to package yourself with through academies to go for the exam. In our academy, of course, we send you the links to all of these things. It is also there. You can peruse, find a way to find them on the GMC website. Now, they have a foundation program curriculum, which is the curriculum through which they outline the competencies that they expect of the junior doctor, the FY2 in the UK. It is at the level of the FY2 that you are being assessed for PLAB 2. So what are those competencies that they use to train them? Their program curriculum. You need that curriculum as well. Yeah, you need that curriculum. Okay, so you want to look through and know what your UK counterpart knows, or what your UK counterpart was trained with. So you need to know that so that you are fully prepared. Now, give me a second. Yeah. Now, materials for PLAB 2, of course, like I said, I know in many of your groups, they've dumped a lot of things for you. They will still dump more. There are many materials in circulation. Some of them I've even gone through. I find errors here and there, in some, of course. Now, the materials from an academy or from friends, they are very good for you to gather information, but please make sure you verify them. And if you go through a course, irrespective of where, please, like I said, this is not for you to come to key points. You're welcome anytime. I'm happy to train you. Yeah, but wherever you go for a course, please, even when they print material and give you whatever it is that they give you, please, it is never enough. And when I say never, please, I say it in capital, in bold, in underlined. It is never enough. The things the facilitators say are usually more important than the things that are printed. You must take notes. It may look like me, professor of this, actually professor of that. Is it because I'm doing this PLAB journey? They want to turn me to a medical student to write notes again. Boy, I beg. I beg. Yeah, just be professor in your department. Yeah, for now, if you need the PLAB 2 success, please, there are many contexts and there are different ways that different people understand different things. Please take notes. Please take notes. I had a candidate who came out, I think a week ago or 2 weeks ago. I taught their class physically in Lagos. I was around that period. And I noticed that she was the one, okay, not the only one, but she was one of the 2 persons who almost took notes of even if I sneeze or if I cough, of course, those kind of people. Now, when she came out last week or last 2 weeks, I asked her, how was the exam? And she said it was easier than I expected. To be honest with you, it's been a long time I heard somebody telling me that. I know her as a person. I know she wasn't being arrogant. I've known her from when she was in medical school. Yeah, she told me, no, it was easier than I thought. Like I was like, as if finished. You know why? All the tips, she captured them. Very rich notes. That kind of person would usually not have poor preparation because they wouldn't remember from their mind. As they are preparing, they have everything. They have everything. So please take notes, even if you have printed documents. How do you prepare? I think, practice. I've talked about practice a lot. Okay, so if you go back and then you are reading, you want to read all the materials, cram all the materials without practicing, it will shock you. Trust me, you remember these moments that I'm saying it. It's not a threat, of course. Who am I to threaten you? I don't even know you and you don't know me. Yeah, but I assure you that you will be shocked. Because in the heat of the moment, what happens in practice, when you are put in the simulating environment, your mind does not work like the thing you know. Now, tension, how the question came, the angles, you'll be shocked. I had a mock sometime last month, and I know, like, I try as much as I can to know everybody that comes to Key Points Academy. I really try. Now, I knew all of them. that came for the mock session. I know all of them, including some things they don't know I know about them. Now, I knew the most intelligent of them in the room because I had also tested their knowledge because I taught all their classes. Yeah, I taught all their batches, so I knew them. Now, the most intelligent of them, by my assessment, had the worst score of all of them in that mock session. I had to talk to him later. I told him, from your course, I anticipated it. I've had people like you before. Yeah, that intelligence can be a problem. So tell me the truth. Were you doing more of reading? And he said, yes. I said, that is the problem. You are driven by stuff. I've always known that. You are driven by stuff. Yeah, it's those kind of people that oppress in morning meetings. You know what I mean in our hospitals. You are driven by stuff. You are not practicing. You are not the Plateau kind of doctor. Don't be surprised if you surprise yourself in the main exam. So these are the things you have to do. These are the things I have to do. I have to set him straight and wish him the best. So reading without practicing, it prepares you for surprises. Find practice partners by every means, from anywhere. Find practice partners, people you have to do it again and again until you become what you become. Now, this is that important part where everybody, everybody's interested. Academy, where should I go? See, there is no academy that can guarantee any outcome, no matter the beautiful thing they post on their website. No academy, including Key Points Academy. Nobody will be as honest as this to you. Trust me. There is no academy that can guarantee any outcome. All we do is provide information, give you a template that guides you. You determine the outcome. You are your own academy. You are the best. You are better than all of us. You are the best academy. We'll guide you. We'll give you information. We'll throw light here and there. And academies that listen, like ours, yeah, would also be there to hear your questions. Yeah, even after your course has finished. You need guidance, of course. Almost 24 hours, my line is open. Yeah, even drop a message by 2 a.m. I would usually, in a very short time, I will answer you. So, but we can't guarantee your outcome. It is what you do that determines your result. So no academy, and I need you to know that so nobody cajoles you and say, I attended that this way. See, if you don't go here, this is, if you don't go here, and that includes Key Points. Yeah, so don't think I'm talking about any academy, none at all. If they tell you I went to this one, and if that one, na lie, the person that went to also the other one, who also had a good result, can tell you the same thing. So what is the difference between both? Nothing. Okay, so you have to look at your needs, look at the strengths of those academies, and you decide. So there are people that will not do well in so and so academy, not because of the academy, because of themselves. So you have to do what? Look at how do they teach? What do they, okay, you can now check and say, okay, this one will fit my person. Okay, I know some academies where they harass you to be your best. I know the intention is to be your best, but that approach does not work with everybody. There are people that when you harass, punch them, military approach, yeah, you make them lose everything. There are some people that want to be nursed, and that kind of academy may not be the best. Another type, that's basically what I mean. You have to look at how do they approach things. And so that is just a little tip on academy. You do not want to put your trust in the wrong things. Remember, I told you that at the beginning. It's one of the, I know one who went to the academy they called the best academy at the time. Yeah, and he failed the first exam from that academy, failed the second exam from that academy, failed the third time, and Plateau has only 4 slots. Please, I am not telling you heard stories. This is somebody I know to his house. He failed the first one, failed the second one, failed the third one, and had only 1 chance left. If he fails that chance, he has to go back to IELTS and write PLAB 1 again before he can attempt PLAB 2. So I met him at this third fail. I asked him, which academy did you go? He told me. Now, naturally, you wouldn't expect that, if of course anybody can fail from anywhere, but you wouldn't expect that from this academy you failed 3 times. Does it mean the academy is bad? No, sir, I won't say that. I won't say that. But that's to tell you that the trust in so and so cannot help you. Yeah, for him anyways, I put a close eye on him, helped him, cut a few things. He passed that 4th attempt and his GMC registered now, you know. So do not put your trust, and I've said so much there. So your focus should be on where you get this kind of support that you need to pass. And that is holistic support, the support that looks at you as a person, that's where they have a listening ear. So there are just a few things about, I'll quickly run through this one. 5 important things about a good academy. An academy that has teachers who, one, has had a good outcome of the exam themselves, have good communication skills, and are experienced in teaching. Okay, yeah. Then who are patient, because you need some kind of patience sometimes. You have some questions that you don't need to swallow, or you don't need to be shy to talk about. You don't need to be even afraid to ask. I know an academy then, even when you raise up your hand to ask questions, they tell you to put the hand down. So many things. Yeah, so you want places where you can ask a question. Even when you are paid money, you shouldn't be afraid to use your money. So a place that gives opportunities for high quality mocks. What makes a mock high quality? It is the quality feedback. The feedback that is tailored to you, not feedback to everybody that did mock on the day. The feedback that calls you by name and tells you, please don't mind me if I use your name from the list to give an example, okay? So don't get upset. Now, the feedback that looks at you and says, Theophilus, this is what you did wrong. This is what you did right. This is how you can do it better. Not everybody. No, you, Theophilus, you, Abraham, you, Adebayo, specific. That makes it high quality because it is tailored to you. One that provides personal feedback, what I just talked about, and of course that follows up till you pass. Follows up till you pass. There are academies that if you unfortunately have a bad outcome in the exam, they don't know you. Just like the example that I gave you, that guy failed the first time, second time, third time. The academy did not even know the results of this person in the first place, and they are the ones that will still publish that they had so and so pass rate. And I've always silently asked, how did this pass rate, how was it calculated when you do not know the result of the people who passed? GMC does not send us any results. So for us to calculate, GMC does not even know the academy you went to. So how did that academy get their pass score, their pass rate that they used to woo people to come on false claims? Yeah. So you don't want to, go to places where you would not be followed up. Okay. So you need to be followed up to make sure that you pass. And if by any chance you had an unfortunate outcome, that they will not abandon you, all right? They'll still follow you up to make sure that your Plateau journey is completed. Yeah, so here most people, of course, fail because, not because they have, a lack of desire, but of course, because they are not committed. And yes, you have to be committed. So you can just see what we have on your screen. You can see it on our website as well, keypointsacademy.com. You can just do a Google search. You see our upcoming page, upcoming courses page. You see all our schedules. Everything for 2022 is published there. Okay, so we have Lagos courses. We have the 14 days online course. It's a full course as well. Just the same thing with the Lagos course, or the full course in Lagos. Yeah, so you have all the courses displayed there that if you do consider at any time to join. But of course, you don't have to cram them or even screenshot. It's right there on the website. You can take a look. We have our star course. Amazingly, July is when we actually started. So it's our anniversary month as well. And we started with this 7-weekend online course. It's an amazing course. I would say it is our best performing course, really, because I think the learning pattern kind of helps you to be very deep in what you are doing, because it only teaches you in weekend, and you have like 4 days in between to understand what happened that weekend. And then you come again weekend, you have another time to reflect, practice, read, beef up what. So it's not back to back, where morning till night, the next day morning till night in the full course. It's usually very tedious. By the time the first week has finished, it's a lot of headache. All right. So yeah, those are there. And then we usually do this revision course for people who maybe have attended the course and it's been a long time, they have forgotten and what have you, they want to do a catch-up. That's why we do the revision course. So people who have attended the exam and they have unfortunately failed and they want to be brushed up. So the revision course is for them. It's not for people who have not attended the course before. So please don't look at it and say, that's the one I want to attend. Oh, mine, I think I just saw an error on this particular sticker. The right one should be on the website anyways. The cost for revision course is not, it's not the same as it's lower. I think it's £100 for group of 5, 120 or 125 pounds each for group of 3, and 150 pounds for group of for an individual. I think something like that. So, but I think the right one should be on the website. So, I'll use the opportunity to talk about key points traveled as well. I mentioned earlier about the place of your logistics and how it can affect the outcome. So Key Points Academy has a travel platform where we help you to make your reservations for flights. And if for any reason you want to adjust, maybe much later because of visa outcome, because of any other untoward developments, we'll also help you to adjust that flight. It may be at a fee, most times, depending on what's the policy for the airlines. So you can always contact us that way. And then if you have also other interests of travels, book flights for any other thing. It mustn't be for Plateau. Key Points Travels also helps you. So you can send a DM on Instagram, a WhatsApp message on that number on your screen, or an email to that email, and we'll be happy to help you at any time. Usually, anytime I do this introductory session, I usually will do a giveaway. Okay, and that giveaway would be for anyone, for today. So the giveaway will be for anyone who intends to attend the Key Points Academy. The first 10 people who today can send a WhatsApp message and say, I would attend Key Points Academy. All right, so at the time when you want to, I will number you when you send the message. So at the time you want to attend, I would give you a discount on your registration. So you can alone, without forming a group, pay at the rate of group of 5. Right, the group of 5 rate is usually £375. The individual rate is £420. So the first 10 people today, but not people who, I'll have to see your PLAB 1 results. You must be among the people who just passed PLAB 1. You are my primary focus for today. So the first 10 people to send me that message. And then the second giveaway I would give would be an anniversary giveaway. Okay, it will be for our coming July to September. No, not here. All the people that are sending me DM in the Zoom, I can't keep track of that. All right, so I'll put up our official number again so that you can send that to the WhatsApp message. WhatsApp this thing. So so I'll look at that at the end of the day. I'll put up the number. Some of you are too sharp. I'm getting notifications already. So anyways, the WhatsApp number is +44 777 412 8862. +44 777 412 8862. +44 777 412 8862. So if you send a WhatsApp message, the first 10 persons, I will wipe this in for you. Just 375, you can attend the course. The second giveaway I said would be for our 7 weekends online course, and it's an anniversary giveaway. So anybody who wants to attend that course, starting from July 22 to September 4, and that means you must have an exam towards the end of, between the end of September to the end of October or even early November. Should be some people around that. You must have a date. So the first 10 people who want to say they will attend that particular course, I would also give you the same thing. You can apply by 375 without having to form a group. I would allow it, just the first 10 people from today. And that will be from today till the end of registration. Registration ends on the 20th. The course starts on the 24th, I think, or 23rd. All right, so I think we have been nice and helpful enough. So I would go into, okay, I'm sorry, I should have put this up earlier. That's the WhatsApp number there. And those are other places where where you can contact us. Esther, I'm so sorry. You can see it on your screen now. I'm sorry. I didn't know it was the next slide. I would have put it up. So that's the WhatsApp number there. So you can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on YouTube. I would encourage you to also subscribe to our YouTube channel. And there are free resources. If you remember at the beginning, I told you that there are many things that you need to know about the foundations of your of PLAB 2. So I have a free resource on Introduction to PLAB 2. If you have visited our YouTube channel, you'll find it there. It's a teaching that is almost an hour or so, thereabout, and it takes its time to teach you about the PLAB 2, including the explanations of how you are scored. I have shown you today how that impacts the outcome of your PLAB 2 exam. So you just don't want to miss that particular recording. So you can go there, watch it a million times if you want. Yeah, go through it to help you understand basic things about PLAB 2. So at this point, if you have any questions, I'll be happy to take your questions in the chat room. So whether on YouTube or on the Zoom chat room, you can just post your questions. I'll be happy to respond to them. Somebody with iPhone had asked earlier that can you help with the steps for visa application? I am so sorry, I cannot. It's a bit difficult for me to actually do that now. Yeah, so visa application is complex. It's largely contextual. You can get a travel agent, somebody. You can also get an experienced doctor. In Key Points, just like we did for Key Point Travels, I know for now we do not have, but we are hoping to offer that service of reviewing visa applications. So I can't tell you for certain now or give you any detailed information. So the iPhone owner, I'm so sorry that I am not able to talk about that. Dr. Scholes said, for some of us who have registered already but are yet to attend the academy, please, can you do a giveaway for services at Key Points Travels? Key Points Travels does not really get to collect your money. We're only helping with booking the flights, and we'll try to get you the lowest rates possible. Meanwhile, please, if you are contacting the Key Points Travels WhatsApp line, it takes a lot to actually find the specific flight for your needs. It can be a bit tedious. So make sure that you are ready to book when you are contacted, not window shopping. You'll be putting the person through a lot of unnecessary stress, and that will take time, of helping people who are ready to book. So if you are ready, be sure that they will look for what is best, the lowest possible. And not all the time that you get the lowest possible on the front page of the website of the flights. The flight booking page. So for Key Points Travel, we contact the flights directly, and many of the times we get discounts. So, and then it can be lower. So boss, I am sorry. I'm not sure there can be a discount for booking flights. I wish I had a private jet to be transporting all of you. So the best time to join the academy at Adebayo is around 8 weeks to your exam date. Around 8 weeks to your exam date. Okay, around 8 weeks to your exam date. How do I know I am part of the lucky 10 that will get? I am TSM, I will respond. Okay, I will review. Of course, WhatsApp messages are timed. So you have to trust me, I'm objective. So I will review. The first person to drop a message, the second person, when I get to 10, I will apologize to the rest. If somebody sends me salamit, that will make me happier, I may extend it to 20, if you know what I mean. All right, so I would, you will know, I will respond even before night today. I will look at all the messages, I'll count them, and I'll respond. Please, for the cost of the groups. Yeah, the cost of the groups, Aziza, let me go back to, so you can see the cost of the groups. Yeah, Aziza, you can just take a look at your screen. You should be able to find Yeah. When is the best time to apply for visa? Florence, it all depends, because I think now visa processes can really take weeks, you know, and it can be daunting and frustrating for a number of persons. What's on their website would be for you to apply around 3 months to your travel date. But boy, I would advise that you apply even earlier. Because there are no ways to speed it up now. You know, there are a lot of delays. It is summer. The whole Ukraine thing is going on. They're processing special visas for people who are leaving Ukraine. It's a bit daunting, yeah, for the visa office. So I can't give you a specific number of weeks and all that, but maybe around 3 months to your travel date, or even 4 months, yeah, such that the visa response will come back before your exam or before, yeah, your travel date. Okay. Can we get a recorded portion or replay of this session for some of us that came late? Susan, I think the live session on YouTube will also record and be there. So you can watch it. Yeah, it will optimize. It will take maybe some minutes or an hour to optimize. So maybe just check for it on tomorrow morning on our YouTube channel. You should be able to watch it after now. Can you give us an idea, Dr. Venn talking here, so can you give us an idea about how soon we should organize our proof of funds? How many months prior to visa application? I've made a comment about that. Proof of funds best to be between 3 to 6 months. The more the months, the more reliable. Okay, so 6 months is more reliable than 4 months, but it doesn't mean that 4 months cannot be tight enough for the visa officer to give you a consideration. So it's usually 3 to 6 months or thereabouts. So I advise 6 months, that's if you have it. But if you don't and you have 4 months that is well, you know, neat, properly organized, you can explain every significant spending, why not apply? You would get a good response. When best to join an academy if you have an exam first week of December, November, October. Yeah, so I would say attend it depends on what kind of course you want to attend. If it is the weekend course, then that means you should be attending this next one because it will end in September, first week of September. So, and that is around 8 weeks to your exam. That's if you want to do a weekend course. If you want to do a full course, then the September course or August or September course will be best for you, okay? For the person that asked Adebayo. Is the cost per person or for the group as a whole? The cost you mean? Yeah, so 375 for group of 5 is 375 each of the group of 5. An individual coming alone pays 420. But if you are coming as a group, then each person will pay lower. Instead of 420, you are paying 375 each, not 375 as a whole. Yeah. So even salary is not that cheap now. Okay. Do you have Academy online monthly? Is it monthly? Just check our schedule. I don't think it's monthly, but it's about once in 2 months. So you can see the one on your screen now. Yeah, the Straight Academy is about 6 sessions in 2022, and that is half. That is half of the calendar months you have. So that's like once in 2 months, perhaps. So what we have monthly is the physical course in Lagos. Yeah, that one is yeah. So and oh, I forgot to mention that is so costly to miss. That our Manchester Center will be kicking off in September. Okay, so for now there are no scheduled courses. We are going to kick off with mocks and mannequin practice and the rest of all those things. So by the time we kick off, we will have a schedule for courses in Manchester, live courses in Manchester. So if you have your course in Nigeria, of course, that means you can do your mannequin practice, you can do your mocks in the UK. Okay. I help extend the number of those you are doing. Okay. Okay, IK, yeah, just pray and pray. If I just go downstairs, that my wife has kept very delicious food that would change the number. Yeah. Is the price stated? Okay, yeah, I think I've explained that now, Aziza. How soon before exam should one attend an academy? Dr. Venn, I said already 8 weeks, around 8 weeks. I'm in at any physical academy in the UK. I think I just talked about that now. So yeah, around middle of September, we would open up. Okay, we'll open up. We'll open up the Manchester Center for mannequin practice, mocks, everything. How many percentage can one spend monthly while building an account? We're going into visa. No, I don't really want to talk about visa. Visa has a lot of context. Yeah, somebody has to look at the specifics of your own application. That's why the visa officers will tell you they have looked at your personal circumstances. It's different from the next person. So I can't tell you. It depends on how much you are earning, depends on how many sources of your earnings, what your total balance is, how much you are spending on routine. Yeah, all these, so many things. There's context of visa application. So I can't tell you, it's not about the amount. Please note, you can have 10 million in your account and it will be rejected. And somebody can have 1.5 million and it will be accepted. Visa is complex. Yeah, there's a lot of context to getting a positive visa application or visa response. Oh boy, do you have enough materials to do a course in Nigeria? Of course, Esther. People in Lagos, many of them are past 16 over 16, 15 over 16, 14 over 16, everything. Yeah, so in fact, for the last 2 years, we have only operated from Lagos, Lagos and online. So all the success you hear about Key Points Academy is from Lagos. Everything is in Lagos. Okay. That may remind me to mention, I should be in the Lagos September course. I will teach part of that course in Lagos. So if you're attending the September course, yeah, I'll be happy to see you. Okay, I'll be happy to see you. Make sure you sign up for that course. Where will the mocks and mannequin parties take place? Yeah, so the mannequins, yeah, all the mannequin stations are being taught in all the courses, whether online, whether it is physical, all the mannequin stations are being taught. The mannequins are in Lagos as well for you to practice. And when you come over to the UK from mid-September, the mannequins are also there for mocks and practice. So Adeshewa, I hope that helps you. Femi, it seems the group of 3 has more added pegs than group of 5. Does the group of have mocks? Yeah, the group of 5, of course. So let me explain the grouping thing. Yeah, applying as a group does not mean you have any advantages over the other, or applying as an individual. The static rate for applying for a course is 420. But the academy decides to reward you for coming as a group. That means more people taking more slots within a shorter time. It reduces the stress on the academy for mobilizing people to attend our courses. So that is why we're just allowing you pay a little less for coming in a larger number. So, but by the time all of you have registered, you are all on the same level. The same number of mocks, everything is the same. There's no added advantage to anybody. There's no added perk. There's no special access of the individual person and this thing. It's just for registration. I hope that is clear. How do you do mannequin practice for online candidates? So online candidates have the same access to the academy like the physical course candidates. First of all, the teaching is the same thing. So even for online courses, you are taught with the mannequins just the same way the person in the physical course is taught. The mannequins are there, you will see them, of course, online. All the demonstrations are done and they will use the mannequins to demonstrate to you. Do you understand? So during your mocks, of course, you have physical mocks. You are supposed to, the same mocks apply to whether you attended a physical course or an online course. Yeah, they're going to put you through the same physical mock and an online mock. You have access to them. We have both set of mocks. So you can also make an appointment to come into the academy to practice outside the course, after the course, to practice with the mannequins. So you still have access. Attending an online course does not stop you from all that. The prices on the course is only valid from now. Yeah, the prices you find on the website, they will likely be reviewed because opening our Manchester Center increases logistics on our end. Yeah, so but for now, any registrations now will be at the present rate. So I will advise you, even if you plan to attend in November or in December, book your slot now that you can still pay around this amount. Because sometime around early September, as we get close to opening, the sign-up fees would likely be adjusted up. Okay. What conversion rate, Ikechukwu, do you use for people who want to pay in Naira? There is no flat conversion rate. It depends on what rate is available on the day you intend to pay. Of course, you know that Forex has different exchange rates at different times. So imagine if I tell you it is 750 now or it's 770 now, and then our government in Nigeria, decides to do so well. And now the rate on the day you want to pay is 500 for pounds. Yeah, so imagine that. It will be like I'm cheating you, isn't it? So it depends on the day, what is available on the day. All right, so I want to wish you guys all the best. If there are more questions, of course, you have our number. It is right there at the foot of your page here on this flyer. Yeah, you can save the contact of Key Points Academy. It will help you with signing up. Yeah, you can also come to Key Points Academy to sign up for mocks alone for those who have attended another course before. And it's only mocks you want. We're also taking people for just mocks. But of course, you do not have any other advantages like all the other people in the academy. So you do not have access to practice with mannequins and all of that. So you just to come for your mocks, you do your mock and you leave. Yeah, so but we can do that for you, assess you, give you solid feedback, give you corrections, tips on things you can do to be better. Yeah, so you can book mocks as well. Our range of mocks includes physical mocks, which we have in Lagos. And of course, by mid-September, we're going to have in Manchester as well. And we also have online mocks. And the online mocks, I must dare tell you that they are nowhere near less than the physical mocks. In fact, they can be more detailed. They can be more detailed. So, but I'll leave that to when you come, you'll get to understand how we do our online mocks and how they can be very, very thorough for preparing people. So if you have any questions, of course, our contacts are there. You can DM us on Instagram, you can DM us on WhatsApp, and we're happy to clarify anything and to help in any way that we can. Please do not come with questions for visa. I'm not a visa officer. We do not offer visa services for now, and I'm so sorry. We will not be able to respond to messages like that. All right, so all the best. Thank you for